Hello everyone, this is Random Guy 1001. I'm here to rank all of the upcoming Marvel movies and shows by excitement. So let's do this. At last place we've got Marvel Zombies. I'm just not a huge fan of zombie stories. I don't know, just the weird, gray looking, mindless enemies never interested me. I much prefer a villain that's actually smart and has some real motivations. Um, I'm not saying this is gonna be a terrible series, but it's lower on the list or all the way at the bottom. I know a lot of people are gonna come at me for this one, but hey, I don't have any connection to the character from the comics. I don't have any connection to the original movies. All I know that this is a sort of vampire hunter type character, which doesn't really appeal to me. And plus, we don't know much about this movie yet. So yeah, out of a lot of the stuff on this list, we maybe know the least about this. I do not know why they're making this show. I don't. It could be interesting, maybe. I'm sure there is some things to explore with this character, but I don't know, it feels like it's gonna have a real creepy sort of vibe, which isn't really my thing, and honestly, this doesn't feel necessary. Um, but hey, it could be good. We will see. Next up, X-Men 97. A lot of the animated shows are just generally lower on the list. Plus, again, I don't have a huge connection to X-Men like a lot of comics fans would. I've read a few comics, but I'm not huge into the comics. I pretty much just watch the movies and shows. I don't have a super huge connection to this, so there's not that much that really gets me excited. Next up is What If Season 2. This is only a little higher on the list because I sort of know what to expect. Yeah, I'm expecting some really cool stories, and then there's probably gonna be some that are just kind of eh. But I'll be there for it for the cool ones. So come on, Marvel, make some cool ones. Make them all cool. Come on, do it, do it, do it, do it. Next up on the list is Ironheart. I do not know much about this character. I did read some Ironheart comics. She didn't really appeal to me as a character that much in those comics, but I think after Wakanda Forever comes out, which she will be in, this show might move up or down on the list, depending on how much I like the character. Next up is Spider-Man Freshman Year. Spider-Man is one of my favorite heroes in the MCU. And them bringing in characters like Daredevil and Norman Osborn seems like this could be a really cool show. There is a bit of confusion on what universe it takes place in. Because if it takes place in our universe, I feel like that sort of messes with the canon too much. If it's a different universe, then cool, go for it. So yeah, this could be a pretty cool series. Next up is Echo. This one is only high up on the list because Kingpin and Daredevil are going to be in it. The character Echo by herself doesn't appeal to me enough to really put it super high. I feel like this show would be pretty low if all we knew about it was this is a show about Echo and she learns about her roots and family and stuff like that. Like, that doesn't appeal to me enough. This character doesn't appeal to me enough to put it super high on the list, but because of what characters are going to be in it, what other characters, I'm intrigued, so it's a little higher on the list. Next up is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The teaser trailer for this movie looks amazing. But that said, it's easier to make a really good teaser trailer than a really good movie. And there was probably a lot of difficulties with production with this movie, one, the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. They don't have their lead, so they had to come up with a totally different story without him. Two, there was COVID in play. And three, Letitia Wright, who is a main player in this movie, was injured in the middle of filming, and they had to delay it and all that. So yeah, they had a hard time shooting this one. But they can, if anyone's capable of making a great movie in hardships, it's Marvel. Maybe there's probably someone more capable, I don't know, but I think it's possible that this could be a great movie, but just all of that stuff just lowers it a little bit for me. Next up on the list is Armor Wars. This show could be really cool. We don't have a lot of information on it, but James Rhodes is a really cool character to me, and I've heard that Secret Invasion is leading right into it, so that intrigues me a little more about it. I would like to know more information about it, sort of what the plot is, who the main characters are, to put it up higher, but this could be a pretty cool show. Next up on the list is Fantastic Four. Again, I'm not a huge comics fan. I don't have any real connection to the Fantastic Four, and higher on this list is just characters that I already know from the MCU that I have a connection to. So that's why this one is lower. This could be a really cool movie. I mean, I like The Incredibles, and that was a similar idea. So maybe this will be like The Incredibles, but in the MCU, which would be really cool. So next up, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I've never been a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan. I don't hate those movies, but I definitely don't love them as much as a lot of people do. But from the footage that we got at SDCC, or the people that went there got, I heard it's an emotional movie, and this is the conclusion of their trilogy. So, I think everyone's going to want to go out with a bang. Next up is Captain America New World Order. I'm really interested to see how Sam feels as Captain America. If he's a good Captain America, if he's maybe even a replacement for Steve. I kind of doubt that.
There has never been another Steve Rogers, has there?
But I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see. I think the Falcon and the Winter Soldier didn't really pull me in enough on the character to make me super excited for this movie, but I'm still pretty excited. Next up on the list is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This would be way higher on the list if Ant-Man was more of a character that I really loved, but he's more of a mid-tier character for me, but still it's pretty high on the list with Kang being involved. I'm really interested to see what an actual evil Kang seems like. We saw He Who Remains in the Loki finale, who I really loved, but yeah, I'm interested to see how a more evil Kang would be. Next up, the Marvels. If it weren't for the team up that is gonna happen in this movie, the Marvels would be way lower. But we've got Monica Rambeau, we've got Kamala Khan, two characters that I love, more so Kamala Khan. And we will get to see the Khan family again, which will be really funny with them interacting with all these superheroes and stuff. That's just a small note, but I mean, that'll be cool. Next up is Secret Invasion. This is a really great idea for a show. I feel like this show is just going to be super exciting with so many twists and turns. Just keep you on the edge of your seat. And Nick Fury, I think, will be a really great lead for this show. I've always loved the character of Nick Fury, and it's about time he got to be the lead of a show. Plus, I do really want to know what he's been doing all this time, avoiding Earth. Next up is Daredevil Born Again. I have not seen the Daredevil Netflix series. I haven't read Daredevil comics, but from just that scene in Spider-Man No Way Home, he seems like a pretty cool character, and I'm excited to see more of him throughout different projects. So him getting his own project, and it being 18 episodes, which is something really different, If they really deliver on this, if they really make every episode great, that's like 18 weeks of Marvel goodness. That's exciting. Next up is the Thunderbolts. The team of the Thunderbolts team was revealed at D23. There's a lot of characters that I really like that were introduced in Phase 4 that are on this team, such as John Walker, Yelena Belova, the Red Guardian. Those are some standouts. So yeah, that really makes me excited for this movie, and I'm interested to see what kind of dynamics happens between the characters on this team, what sort of conflict arises between them. That's an interesting part of it. Sort of a bummer that Zemo is not on this team, but it sort of makes sense. He's not going to want to join a team of superhumans, but maybe he'll want to take them down. Who knows? I'm hoping he's still in this movie. Next up is Loki Season 2. Season 1 was amazing, and I feel like Season 2 is just going to be even bigger and better. And I think this one is going to be super important to the future of the MCU, specifically Avengers KANG Dynasty. And I'm just generally really excited to see these characters back. Owen Wilson is great as Mobius. Of course, as always, Tom Hiddleston is great as Loki. So I'm super excited for this one. And our runner-up is, surprisingly, Avengers Secret Wars. Some people would put this at the top. I think this movie will be really big. Of course, it'll have really high stakes. There'll be a bunch of cameos. And that's just super exciting. But I would say that at first place is Avengers the KANG Dynasty. Yes, Secret Wars will be super cool with all the cameos, but I feel like Avengers KANG Dynasty is is gonna start this two-part story, and they're not gonna go for all the cameos and all that in the first one. So I feel like the first one might be more compelling because we won't really know where it's going. Because usually we're gonna expect the heroes to win, but maybe not because there's a part 2. So this one I feel like will be more compelling, and we can spend more time with the new cast of Avengers, which we haven't really done. We spent a lot of time with them separately, but I mean, right now we don't know who the new Avengers are, and I'm really excited to see that team working together, and Avengers KANG Dynasty will be the first time that happens. So that's it for this video. Share your ranking in the comments section down below, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.